everyone, it's Sam. Welcome to a very special Bronies UK video. This is actually going to be the first in a series of videos which I wish to do, and hopefully even it might become something special for the fan base. Now, this video ideally is something I promised a subscriber to Bronies UK that I would do. Silver Comet, hello, hope you're well. As promised, I'm doing this video for not just for you, but for every single fan out there, but also just to confirm for Silver Comet that I do own this specific piece of Brony memorabilia, shall we call it. So I took the name Silver Comet, I believe suggested. I am calling this series of videos the Pony Preservation Project. The reason for this is because this is going to hopefully be a series of videos where I'm going to talk about various physical books that I own, which are basically physical copies of fan fictions, of famous MLP fan fictions that have been written by fans over the years, and I do own several of these, and hopefully I'll be adding more to my collection as the years go by. So, in this nice little box container is a book. A very special book from a very special Brony author. It is a very, very famous fan fiction, and from what I understand, if you own this book, you are very, very lucky to own this book. So, before I show the book, we're just going to really quickly read this little card that basically comes in the book, and it says the following. This is book 173, so it's the 173rd copy print of the book. No idea how many copies there are of this book, ain't got a clue. Illustrations featured in this release have been modified for printing purposes. To view the digital releases, please visit the following link. And there's basically a link on this card that basically just tells you where to find the links. So, as promised, Silver Comet, here it is. The physical copy, the book of the famous Rainbow Dash Cutie Mark for 5 score divided by 4. It does exist. Here it is. This is the real deal. This was bought directly from the author when they ran, I think it was about 2 years ago now, when they ran a publication project through a company called Non-Existent Publishings, and as far as I'm aware, it was very limited run. They do not produce these books anymore, and there it is. There's the Rainbow Dash Cutie Mark on the front. Once again, there it is, 5 score divided by 4. It does exist, my friend. Here it is. I'll do a proper look at it in a second, just to give you all a real sort of quick review, if you will, on the story. No spoilers. The very short end of the stick is it's about a group of friends who are all bronies. MLP, the show, has basically finished. It's been off the air for quite a few years, and then one day the main character wakes up with Rainbow Dash's cutie mark on his thigh, and he basically starts turning into Rainbow Dash, and the rest of his friends start turning into ponies as well. Basically the main 6 ponies. And it's basically all about sort of what happens to them when they actually turn into the characters from MLP. That's the short explanation. Obviously there's a bit more to it than that, but that is the short version of it. So, let's just bring the webcam down here. I'll let you have a proper look at the book. So, we'll just try and maneuver here. There we go. So, as you can see, we do have the Rainbow Dash Cutie Mark on the front. And then we just pop it open here so you can get a proper look. So non-existent publications, that's basically the place that published this. We'll discuss them a little bit in this video as well. Obviously got forward, so what you want to have just a nice little look at some of the pages in here. Let's see if we can find a page with some artwork. There we go. That's a bit of the artwork on there. It's giving you an idea of the transformation into the characters that's happening. So yeah, that's it. I mean, it is very nicely hard covered at the front, but a nice slip cover over the top as well. It's got a nice little bookmark tag thing in there so you can mark your place. And this is really good quality stuff. This is a really good physical copy of a book. So, as he promised Silver Comet, yeah, physical copy of 5 score divided by 4 right here, right now. It does exist. It is a real thing. So, what I just want to really quickly mention is non-existent publications. They do have a couple of books that they are still publishing, which I am hoping to one day get hold of. Because if I can get all of them, if I can get all 4 books, then that's going to be a great thing to do. Because again, I really want to do it just to preserve the history of the fan base in a lot of ways. So here we are, non-existent publications. So this is the website where you could basically, where they produced the 5 score divided by 4 physical book. At the moment, they only have 3 available books on here. They've got ID, Salvation, The Empty Room, and The Immortal Game. Out of those 3 particular fanfics, I've only heard of The Immortal Game. I'm not familiar with Salvation, The Empty Room, or ID. I don't know what those 2 are about. I roughly know what The Immortal Game's about, though I haven't actually read it. What I hopefully one day plan to do is basically own all 3 of these books. They're not cheap, but if I could get all 3 of them, then I would basically own all 4 copies of the books produced by non-existent publications, which would be a huge piece of Brony history, if you will. So, basically, as I mentioned at the start of this video, what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks is doing several videos talking about MLP fanfics, specifically physical copies of the MLP fanfics that I own. I think I have about 7 or 8, and it's sort of become a bit of a hobby of mine to collect these books, because it's sort of, in a way to me, it is preserving the written history of the fan base. It's you know, in years to come, this might well end up being a documentable thing that represents the great things that were created by our fan base. So that is effectively what I am planning to do. So this is what the Pony Preservation Project, as I'm calling it, is going to be about. But yeah, so in regards to physical copies of fan fictions, I have mentioned them quite a few times. The Ministry of Image. If you want to buy physical copies of fan fictions, go on Ministry of Image. You can buy physical copies of Fallout Equestria on there. Past Sins is on there. Pink Eyes, Long Road to Friendship, just to name a few. There's quite a few on there. They do tend to add two or 3 titles a year. A lot of the titles, I believe, are added if said authors request it, if they contact them and, you know, they have a talk about it, or they might potentially contact authors on FimFiction. But it's definitely worth looking into Ministry of Image if you are interested in purchasing some physical books for fanfictions. So the great thing is, in regards to actual fanfictions, published fanfictions for MLP, there are quite a few I know about which you can't buy anymore, because certain websites where these authors were self-publishing them, they basically got kind of kicked off after a few months or after a year or 2, when I believe Hasbro sort of did a bit of a copyright thing and things didn't go down so well. So I know there are physical books for MLP fanfics out there which are almost impossible to get hold of now. For example, the original release for Fallout Equestria is nigh impossible to find. Anybody that's got like an original release, you're basically very lucky to have that. Obviously, I do own 2 versions of Fallout Equestria, which we will discuss at a later date. But ultimately, I just feel like I think we owe it to the fan base to try and preserve certain things, and that's ultimately what I'm going to set out to do. So it's only been a brief video, but you know, thanks for watching. Once again, this is video 1 of the Pony Preservation Project, where we have featured the legendary physical hardback book of 5 score divided by 4. So, to answer your question, Silver Comet, yes, the book does exist, right here. It's real, and, you know, I just got lucky that I managed to get hold of a copy when they did the original release. But anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you all have a great day, and stay tuned for more. Thanks very much. Bye!